everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea Taneile, and today is all about New Zealand's North Island. I spent 9 days in New Zealand traveling from Wellington to Auckland by car with a friend who lives in Whanganui. But I do want to stress, as a side of safety, please drive during the daylight if you possibly can. There are many washout areas on public long-distance roads. Chunks of the roads have collapsed on the side, or many cascading rocks have fallen onto the roadways. New Zealand is an island subject to natural occurrences such as tsunamis, earthquakes, and volcanic activity. A majority of the roads have been closed off for safety reasons by the county, so you are able to drive possibly one side at a time. But please, if you're traveling in New Zealand, please be cautious of that and get to your destination safely. Our travels will take us from Wellington to Whanganui, about a 2-hour drive north, then head to Rotorua, which is an additional 2 hours north, stopping to see some natural landscapes and sights along the way, before heading to Mata Mata and exploring that lovely town, which is also the home of Hobbiton. And then our final destination, just outside of Auckland, Waiheke Island, to sample local New Zealand wines. These are the highlights of our trip, and my adventure will be split in 2 parts, so let's get to it. After checking into our hotel, we grabbed a bite to eat at a local eatery for some tacos and cocktails. The next morning, we explored the adjacent harbor side of the National Museum before grabbing breakfast in their cafe area for some eggs Benny. Eggs Benedict was our highlight of this trip. For some reason, we just had a taste for it the entire 9 days, and every town that we stopped in, we had eggs Benning. So expect to see a lot of footage and photos of that. We then explored the exhibits featuring traditional, cultural, and modern art, and the WETA display highlighting the efforts the New Zealanders had during World War I. I highly recommend it. Afterwards, we hit the town to the historic cable car to overlook the city and the attached botanical gardens and its museum. We also did some local shopping afterwards. We then hopped in the car to Whanganui, stopping at some local beaches to take in the sights. It was a bit rainy and chilly over our first 3 days, but thankfully the sun did come out later in the end of our trip. So let's go.
Stunning, eh? Like if it was summer, this would just be
Oh my gosh, there'll be so many people on this beach. My friend Jessica is from Whanganui, and come to find out, there are lots of things to do in Whanganui. We stayed for 3 nights. Whanganui is known as the Big Bay or the Big Harbor, and it's known for its national parks, its water and boat expeditions, hiking, etc. Unfortunately, the time that we went, there were not enough customers or tourists at the time to take the boat cruises and things like that, so we had to pass as nothing fit with our time schedule. But that's okay. There are lots of other trails and outdoor adventures that you can book along the way, especially at the visitor center. The Whanganui River is the longest navigable river in the country. It's also known as the Rhine of New Zealand. Not far from the historic area is the paddle steamer and the Dairy Hill elevator, which we took part in. We also went to see the Lake Virginia and its attached botanical gardens. We stopped by the Behind the Door on 4 Cafe for some eggs Benny, of course. The Glassworks Museum and its art collection that's on display and for sale for anyone who's interested in glassworks. Also stopped by the Castle Cliff Beach and its black sand. It was super, super windy outside, but it was beautiful and made for some fantastic photos. Now, this next outing was unexpected. We just Googled things to do, and Bushy Park popped up as a bird and forest sanctuary. It's a family-owned and run cafe B&B, only 25 minutes from Whanganui. You can check out their website for rates and specials and donations to help preserve the park. It's 245 hectares of natural forest, bushwalks, and it's a predator-free native bird sanctuary. And if you're so inclined, you may also have a Devonshire tea, which we most certainly did. The Homestead was originally built in 1906 and is a heritage building registered with the New Zealand Trust. I will put the information down in the description box below. I highly recommend checking out Bushy Park if you are near Whanganui. We're going on a lion, going on a lion. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. We can't go over it.
We can't go under it. We can't go around it. Let's go through it. Is that the right word?
So it's close enough. This next fun-filled evening was offered to us by one of Jessica's clients who owns Papaiti Gin to make our own gin from scratch. This was a fun project. I'm not sure if this is offered to the general public, but I will put their information down in the description box below just in case you want to go check it out. It's roughly between 120 and 150 New Zealand dollars for the experience, and you get to take home 750 milliliter bottle of original gin. We got to look through all the ingredients, write down all the weights, and distilled everything. So here's what we got up to. Enjoy, guys. Oh, perfect. Nice. That's the rose hip. Love, love, love. Imagine if our flavor's a hit.
It's got the pour out, either really fast or really slow.
Oh.
That's
So bad. I was thinking I might. About halfway through our trip, we hit the road, stopping at some local landmarks before we stopped in Rotorua. And here's the road washouts I mentioned earlier, so please be careful if you're driving in New Zealand, day or night. Welcome to Rotorua, the third most populous place we visited this entire trip, known for its thermal Polynesian baths.
It's sort of almost like the next city over, but we will probably go that way to go to the Hobbit thing, which is kind of in between almost.
Exit the roundabout onto State Highway 30.
A lot of places to stay along this road.
Wow, it's insane how many, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, long before COVID, actually.
turn onto Arawa Street.
Of course, we stopped for a bite of eat when we first got there into town. We had a bit of a night walk and a view from our hotel. We stayed 2 nights at the Ibis Nova Hotel, which actually included a public thermal spa, which was included in our room rate. So let's get checking it out before we hit the thermal volcanic area tomorrow. Just drank that whole bottle by herself. I got a little snippet. She drank it.
Not unusual for a New Zealander.
Oh.
If you have a New Zealand friend, that's kind of something that you should already know that happens.
She's happy.
We have high tolerances. We sweated it out in the spa.
We did.
We ate it with all the food we had today. We're prepared.
Here we are in Rotorua. It's about 6:30 at night in this beautiful lake here next to the Ibis and the Nova Hotel. This is a very nice area. It's very touristy though because it has all the thermal baths. If you are a person who is very, very sensitive to smell, like the taint of the sulfuric acid or the sulfuric smell that comes from volcanoes is very active throughout this whole entire town. So it smells like rotten eggs. If you are a sensitive to smell person, I wouldn't recommend that you would stay here very long, but it does have a lot of thermal activity here. This is also where you can get a lot of the cultural Maori activities that are happening here, but the town is very big. It's very like Vegas-esque when you first walk or drive in, because it's very spacious. The roads are wide. There's bars and restaurants like everywhere, hotels everywhere. So you definitely have a choice of where you want to be, which is fantastic. Gorgeous views, as you can see, like the lake behind me. So if you want to check it out while you're in New Zealand, I most recommend that you do so. The main square where you start off your excursion is actually about a 7-minute walk from the hotel. It's the main hub where you would start, where you have historical information. You have a large map of the area in and outside of Rotorua to go exploring and seeing some of the thermal baths. There are signs everywhere, so please do be careful. You are in an area where things are piping hot and there is steam coming out of these places, so please watch where you step. I mean, everything looks nice and safe, but remember you are in an active site when you come to Rotorua. As we were driving near Rotorua, we saw a sign to visit a volcanic valley. So, of course, we did. It was about 25 to 30 minutes drive outside of the town. They had a small cafe to grab coffee and hot chocolate, pastries or paninis, things like that. And also they had a souvenir store attached. Once you pay the entrance fee, you get a map of the area that includes bus stops and a river cruise. The place had the most amazing views of craters and forestry and, of course, bubbling rivers, so be careful where you walk. So close, that heat, oh my gosh, you can feel it. The Volcanic Valley was established in 1886, and it's the world's youngest geothermal valley. So let's have a look. Sounds like a steam train. The Maori cultural experience is very popular. You know, besides the All Blacks and Hobbiton, I knew nothing else about New Zealand other than these three things, which is really, really sad. I think it's the fact that it's like on the other side of the world. Maybe that might be it. There are a few options for this in Rotorua. We chose Te Patu. It's a family-owned business where they keep traditions alive in their cultural village. And you get to take a sneak peek at how village life was before colonization. It also includes transport, which is about a 15-minute ride outside of Rotorua, and also includes dinner. And a Haka, which is unique to this family. So let's check it out.
The aim of the game was to not drop a stick. Owen!
part 1 of our North Island adventure. Part 2 will cover the town of Mata Mata, its local surroundings and things to do, and its most popular attraction, which of course is a Hobbiton, which we will explore, and also do a Hobbit feast at the end in the evening. We will also explore Waiheke Island, which is a short ferry ride from Auckland to do some wine tasting. So until then, see you next time. Ta-ta!